I didn't like the sound of that name, Cassava, because cassava was not an exotic crop. It was a low-value crop in Nigeria. I didn't know of any precedent of anybody exporting cassava. And even when I looked it up in the international market, the export market for cassava products were low-value commodities. So I was not very excited. Welcome back, viewers. You will recall in my earlier story, I told you how God instructed us to move away from the import-driven business where we were importing mobile air conditioners, air ionizers, humidifiers, and environmental health products, and how the entire economy of Nigeria, the crash in the economy because of the drastic drop in exchange rate, how exchange rate in 1 week moved from 10 naira to $1 to 58 naira to $1. That spike in exchange rate ruined every business that was import driven, and there was no more demand for the products that we were importing. We went to God in prayer and we received an instruction to go into agricultural commodity export. It took us a few months to build capacity, and we began to focus on the export of dried split ginger from Nigeria, raw cashew nuts, and cocoa beans. Our business began to boom and thrive again. And in the midst of this boom, 4 years into this boom, we got an instruction from God in 2002. In 2002, I got an instruction from God to leave the entire agro commodity export business that I was engaged in, to begin to focus on a new line of product that God wanted us to pay attention, and it was cassava. The specific instruction I got was, go study cassava. I didn't like the sound of that name, cassava, because cassava was not an exotic crop. It was a low-value crop in Nigeria. I didn't know of any precedent of anybody exporting cassava. And even when I looked it up in the international market, the export market for cassava products were low-value commodities. So I was not very excited. But because I'd come to understand that when God gives an instruction, it's because there is a great good ahead of you that God wants to prepare you for. And I know that the revelation of God is progressive. When God gives you an instruction, a revelation, He will wait for you to obey before He gives you any further revelation. So I went wholesale into preparation. I began to study about the entire cassava value chain, from production all the way to processing and marketing. I spent almost 6 months studying the cassava value chain in Nigeria. I attended every conference, every workshop, every seminar that has cassava attached to it. I was just soaking in all the knowledge. I was gleaning in all the knowledge I could absorb around cassava in Nigeria. I visited virtually every research center in Nigeria that has mandate on cassava research and development. And after 6 months of really spending my whole time studying about the cassava value chain, I got my next marching order from the Lord. And I heard God clearly tell me, go focus, I want you to specialize on cassava commercialization. Cassava commercialization was creating new and higher value products from cassava that didn't exist before. So my attention and my research changed a change from just studying the value chain to begin to look at what are the high value products that could be produced from cassava that also has an international demand, a huge and growing international demand. That became my new line of work. That research took me to so many nations. That research took me to China, it took me to India, it took me to Vietnam, Brazil, Colombia, and it took me to 5 countries in Europe. It took me to Sweden, Denmark, it took me to the UK, and it took me to Belgium. What was I doing? I was looking at both the market side of the high value products, and I was also looking at the production and value addition side. I went to China and to all the cassava economies of the world to see what they have done to cassava transformation in their countries. I was amazed the discovery. In my research, I discovered nearly 1,000 high-value products from cassava, where cassava was used as a raw material. We discovered how a new kind of plastic, biodegradable plastics, can be made out of cassava. Remember that the world is going through an environmental disaster. Plastics made from petrochemical resins don't degrade. It takes hundreds of years to degrade, so they cause a lot of environmental hazards. But biodegradable plastics made from starch from cassava, they easily degrade. And they, instead of hurting the environment, they add to the environment. It became a whole new opportunity. We discovered how sugars can be made from cassava. Monosodium glutamate, glucose, fructose, maltose, sorbitol, over 1,000 high-value products. By the time I came back from my research, my value chain research around the world, and I must tell you the miracle God did. I have discovered that when you are about God's agenda for your life, success is guaranteed and God pays the bill. Because all my value chain store around the world, it was all expense paid trip. It was paid by IITA and it was paid by other organizations. I didn't have to pay nothing. I just made myself available. By the time I came back on my value chain tour, I was one of the most knowledgeable people about cassava value addition, transformation in Nigeria. Viewers, I'm about to share with you the breakthrough that followed this preparation. Stay tuned until we come back from our break, and you'll be hearing how God prepares you in advance for your breakthrough. Thank you.
Viewers, Psalm 25 verse 14. God has secrets. The secrets of the Lord are with those who fear Him. Those are the people to whom He will show His covenant. You do not disclose secrets to mere acquaintances, do you? You tell your secrets to people who are close to you. If you are close to God, God can tell you secrets. What Boma is talking about is a secret from the heart of God that He told him the next line of business he should go into. So what He told you now is an introduction. You're going to hear more where that cassava research took him to. Listen very carefully, and God will speak to you too. Please do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Forward these videos to your friends. Send us your comments and be a part of what God is doing. God bless you.